Biotechnology from Birla Institute of Technology, Ranchi. She has 2 book publication and many chapter in book, and she also received a Best Teacher Award. She is also member of BOSI, and she has more than 70-year teaching experience in microbiology and biotechnology. And now currently she is working Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology as a associate professor and head of the Department of Biotechnology. Let's I would like to invite ma'am to deliver your lecture. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aarti. Am I audible to all?
Hi, yes, ma'am.
Aarti, I'm working here as professor and head in the Department of Biotechnology, Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, which is affiliated to
1
APT.
minute.
And
1 minute, Reshma ma'am.
yes, sir.
Hello. I want to talk only 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Many colleges are showing your lecture on the screen in the lecture hall, and today's lecture will be recorded. The recorded lecture will be against give us recorded lecture.
Sure.
And I want to tell all active and eager to guide to the young generation regarding biology and biotechnology. Welcome, ma'am, on the platform of Microbiology Society, and request you to proceed, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Very good morning to all the students and the listener, teachers, those who are there. I wanted to have a sharing regarding what I have gathered, what career you can make in biotechnology and microbiology, especially. Because these are very branch which are very much required, very much in date throughout and always. But student when they come, they are into a lot of dilemma that what can they pursue as a career, and lot many questions keep on coming. So with the years, what I have gathered, that student always stay less confident regarding the job. So I would like to share my experience and my views over it. And the first thing that I need to say that we all need to make a career in microbiology, not just start working. And the challenges what we have, you can share what you feel the challenges. You can share. It can be a you can put your questions either across in the meeting session, or you can put the questions directly. I'll try to reply whatever I'll be knowing. I'll be sharing a presentation with you. Just let me know if it is visible to all. So in this, I'm depicting a chart in which different area, different aspects of microbiology, where microbiology is applicable, is seen, because this is a field which is very, very, very wide. And I always say to the students whom I teach that only a microorganism can be very much closely related when we talk about God, because this is one thing that we cannot see, and we can see the action, we can feel the action, we can see the action, but we cannot see them. So microbiology is similar, because in this we do the studies of different organisms, their activity, their lifestyle, how they are growing, what they are doing, and we cannot see the microorganisms. So that's the study about microbiology. I'll be sharing the content that today I'll be discussing with you. And when I'll be talking about the career, I'll be discussing the research and development as a career for microbiologists, healthcare and clinical setting, industrial application, quality control and regulatory affairs, sales, marketing, education, communication, and entrepreneurship. These are the areas that I'll be discussing where and how we can make our career in it. Before coming to it, I would like to express that as a teacher, those who are listening, and as a student, those who are listening, it is very important that we all need to have critical thinking and curiosity and appreciation for microorganisms, because they do a lot of work. All we need to know is what work they are doing, and we can make them work a lot for us. And they are one living being who charge nothing for the work. So it is very important to harvest their energy and make them work for us. Why microbiology is so important? Because it is something that works very closely with unseen organisms. We all know that microbiology is a study of organisms which cannot be seen through naked eye, like bacteria, fungi, and all microscopic structures and cellular structures. Now you can see the plate. This is how we see it in our lab every day. All the students those who are into graduation as well as the students those who are into PG. Because this is a contaminated plate. This plate is having a random growth of microorganisms. But even when they culture them, we see the microorganism. Now, very common term we use culture, which is very important before we come and discuss where all other areas microorganisms are used. So we always say that microorganisms are very important to health, environment, and human well-being, and also they play a very vital role in the economy. Now, how it happens? But in the similar line, the question that I asked you is that we culture the microorganism in lab. We use the term culture if you see it very closely. So, what is culturing a microorganism? When we grow it in a plate, we name it that we are culturing the microorganism, that process, right? Because anything that is growing in a controlled environment, that is, we are culturing it. The way we have our own tradition and culture, they are also provided a boundary where they have to grow. They cannot grow open and stray. So we are culturing them so that we can study what work they are doing, how they are growing, what is the growth pattern. Now, why it is important to know these things? That is one thing. I mean, every time all teachers we go busy and saying you should know, you should read the growth, you should study the growth, what is the changes coming, the enzymatic changes, just study them, analyze them. Why it is that? Why it is so important? Everything, if you go back to the history right from the very back old time, the industrialization, how it came up, it's all about microbiology, how the microbiology started setting up within industry. It is Things started happening accidentally. We are just doing research in it. We are refinding what microbes are already doing. In class 5th, 6th, we have studied that scavengers are there. Now, what are these scavengers? These are microorganisms. So, when microorganism has got ability to break down everything and anything that is present, they utilize the energy. So, when they are so economic, whatever they find on the way, they eat and they grow. So with this ability of theirs, we use them in different directions to harvest and to make business. Because this is one part of life which is not charging anything to give us a good business. We all are studying, whatever we are doing, we're doing to earn money, right? We all are doing a job, we're taking any preparation, or we are studying, doing graduation, post graduation to get a job, to do earning. Now these microorganisms, these poor thing, they work and they earn nothing. So they are most friendly to us because they support us, they support the entire life system. Living system cannot work without the presence of microorganisms, and they are present everywhere and anywhere. So now coming down with how we can make a career, because you all are graduating in microbiology or doing masters in microbiology. So what other aspects that you see? The majority of us see the biotechnology firm, we see pharmaceutical companies, and we see academic institutions. Now what do we do in these areas? These are the key points I've mentioned. I'll be explaining what you do in a pharmaceutical company. Like pharmaceutical company, more of idea we have with the pharmacist work. Now, when the pharmacist is doing a work, they cannot do the testing of organism against any disease. They are making the product, and that product is to be tested by a microbiologist. What is the reaction of the drug on a microorganism? So that is a very important role. Apart from this, we also do a lot of quality testing in food companies that I'll be discussing in an industry when we'll come up. Then you can do a job in biotechnology firm. So there's a difference between a pharmaceutical firm and a biotechnology firm. A biotechnology firm typically will do R&D and take out things like vaccine. They'll be working on recombinant work. It can be related to medicine, it can be related to healthcare, or it can be related to agriculture. But they are doing genetic engineering, and these genetic engineering works are being done on any microorganism. Now, for this, it is very important to know the generation time of a microorganism. Until unless we know the generation time of a microorganism, uh, we don't know how fast we can study the microorganism next generation. Any change, anything external coming to an organism, to a body, will show the change either in the same generation or in the next generation. So whatever work we are doing, experiment we are doing in an organism, that is reflected in the next generation, and then the outcome as a product comes. This happens in biotech form. So academic institution, you always have a job after you complete your PhD. You can go and teach there. That is option for all the branches. Nothing specific to biotechnology. Now, why R&D is very important, research and development. So these things comes under research and development. In academic institution also, we work over projects. You must be seeing to your teachers. You all must be working over some or the other project in your graduation and your post graduation. Now these things all come under research work. Now pharmaceutical company, as I mentioned, a microbiologist will do R&D on microbes of the product that the pharmacist has made. Similar work is going on in biotechnology firm, and same project you can carry on in academics also. In any college, in any institution, we do R&D work on. If you do it in microbiology, because this is a session for microbiologists, we can take it there. Now, one thing before we switch to the other point, and that is before we switch to healthcare, the similar it is related to healthcare and R&D. The question I would like to ask, when COVID had come, we all said that biotechnology and microbiology profession has got a big visibility, right? We were very happy, like people have started recognizing this. People were working much before that recognition. Now, why people started recognizing us? That is very important. Why they started acknowledging the work which is being done on a microorganism, the R&D work. Is it because of the vaccine? That they were vaccine already Edward Jenner had done, and so many vaccine had come up. So it was the recognition was not because of any vaccine. The recognition came because of the COVID virus. That virus gave us more visibility because that is a genetically engineered virus, that is a designed virus by a microbiologist. The way we say it's a biotech firm, similarly biotech firm is also working in R&D and designing microorganisms. That is the negative approach that they took for it. But even positive approach we take, and we do genetic engineering work on microorganisms. When it is producing a vaccine, producing any medicine. So that is the aspects, that is the work that is being carried on in R&D. Now, next, when we go to healthcare, different sectors in healthcare where microbiologists are working, the clinical laboratories, people, those who come and take this sample of blood from you, that is one part. That is those who have done the medical lab techniques. The other part who are performing the test, they are microbiologists who do the reading and sampling, and then the result comes to you. So those are all people. Or if anybody wants to put up a question, can drop in the message box, please. So that is one area. In clinical laboratories, they can work, they can have their own working abilities. But for these things, then you have to choose a paper like medical micro. When you go for R&D, when you go for pharmaceutical company, or when you go in academics, you can choose any field of microbiology. But the fields that I have mentioned in the very first slide, where we see food microbiology, we see medical microbiology, environmental microbiology, industrial microbiology, agricultural microbiology, then these genetic engineering work, microbiology, quality control, any field that we choose can be done working in a pharmaceutical company, in biotech firm, as well as an academic institution. But when we choose healthcare and clinical setting, we need to know medical microbiology very well, so that we can study the data that is being generated. It's not just your work doesn't get over when you're performing any test. You need to analyze the result too. So that is one thing, the one place where you can work in hospital, diagnostic center, clinical laboratories, public health organization. Now this can be an office, this can be a lab where you're working, pathology labs. And another new career that is coming up, what I've mentioned is IVF. I've been noting for some time, like when IVF is very upcoming these days. Every 10th person is having a child through the process of assisted reproductive technology. Now that comes under IVF. So this is again a very beautiful career as a microbiologist which you can opt. Because any IVF center, there are two stakeholders. One is a gynecologist, the other is an embryologist. So embryologist is a career for microbiologists who develop the complete embryo. The gynecologist does the implantation of the embryo, and the preparation of embryo is done by embryologist. But that again requires a little more further studies after your masters, and then you can work as an embryologist. So that is also a beautiful career in healthcare and clinical setting that is upcoming, and many of us may not be aware of this one. Coming to next, I'll be talking about the industrial application. So what are the complete circle that I showed in the very first slide? That is the companies where we can find an opportunity. So if we divide these companies, the work will be say in genetic engineering or monitoring or say in the quality control or working in devising a new product. So the industries have been broadly defined, which are very much required these days. That is food and beverage industry, agriculture industry and agribusiness, then environmental industry, biofuel and renewable energy. Now again, biofuel is a very important area. We all keep seeing in all messages that we are working over biofuel and renewable energy. So now companies have been set up for this. We are working for bioethanol generation. So this R&D work in these companies are being done by biotechnologists. Environmental biotechnology is an area which is evergreen and never ending. Right from the very beginning, we have been seeing all industry, every hospital, every even IT company, it is mandated for them to have an environmentalist. Why? Because all these sectors increase the pollutants in the environment. To have a good and healthy environment is very important for us to live and to sustain their life in a natural way. But the pollution has increased in the environment so much because of industrialization. So again, an industry has been set up to um, to protect the environment. So it is like that the waste of industry is creating pollution, and then again an industry setup is there. A department has been set up to work over an environment where we find a career opportunity. May it be in direction of air purification, soil. When we talk about agriculture, we talk about soil purification, we talk about genetic engineering, or if we talk about water purification. So all these work are coming under environmental biotechnology and very important. Similarly, agriculture and agribusiness, that is a very important area that we can express our work and our importance is there because food is something that is required by all, may it be animal or may it be human being. Now we are having scarcity of land, seen to a country like India. So how can we improve the yield in a smaller chunk of land? Because we need to feed everyone, and the population has increased in millions. Now when we are having 100 million population, people need shelter to live also. So definitely when people are living, you are having less of land left for agriculture. So in that limited land, limited resource, how you can grow the agriculture. So now you see, you must be hearing a lot about hydroponics, aeroponics, vertical farming, horizontal farming, which are coming up. So these all are the area which we have developed. We have developed. Now you can make it commercial also. Food and beverages again, when the agriculture company is working, the agriculture company is giving raw material to the food and beverage industry. It is like that. It is any food and beverage company, they require the product on time. So sometime how the product comes in the market. Like if you must be seeing, if you see a certain time period when the cost of same vegetable or same product is higher and the other time it is less. Why this happens? This happens because of the early production. If any farmer wants to generate good money, will have an early use the crop which will give the yield in 2 months, whereas the natural yielding time is 4 months, or he'll plan the season likewise. So these guidance are being given by microbiologists who are working in agriculture section. A food and beverage company is again required to have the similar standard of food where they require the help of microbiologists. Food technologists can be very useful in being doing the quality control and producing the food and the different flavor. But if you notice a bit, like we have many brand of dairy, Amul in North we see Mother Dairy is also very common. Likewise, some you must be having in your area. So if you compare the taste of these, Nestle is again a very big brand when we talk about dairy products, or even if you taste the chocolate. So everything, even if you take curd, the curd of different companies have different tastes. Why it is there? Why they have different tastes? It is just because um, the organism which they are using, the lactobacillus strain which they are using to make curd, the starter culture, is very specific to one brand. They have genetically modified the organism and is growing in the similar time period and temperature and the consistency of the substrate, that is of the milk will be same. So then they get the same type of food regularly, with the same quality and same taste. Even if you open thousand of boxes, you'll find the same taste. Where you do the same process at home, the taste will differ. If you're making curd, it is the same process. The substrate, your milk has to be 37 degrees centigrade, and you add starter culture to it. So when you do the same process, then why the taste differ in the industrial product? It is because they have the trade secret is lies in their strain, the, the strain which they have devised, which they have done, the genetic and communication. Now, why communication, education and communication is very much required? Why? When you, if you recall and take the very first slide where I was discussing, if um, if you see the slide in which we talked about the educational institute and R&D institute, R&D and education when we're talking, these are the areas where we can perform research. And now to do the research, to come out with any finding, it is very important that we need to educate people for microbiology. Until unless we educate people and young budding microbiologists like you come, how will you do innovation? And how will you uh, bring that innovation to industry? So for that, teaching is very, very important. So your teacher has to be very much fond of microorganism. They should love microorganism, in fact. And then again, why it is important to have scientific communication, because whatever work you are doing need to be need to be communicated to others. जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा is a very old phrase, but it is actually that if you have devised any product, if you have designed any experiment which is giving a very good output, unless it is communicated, how will people know that you have done that work? How will that work be benefited to all? To benefit all, it has to be communicated to all. Right. So it is very important that we need to have a very sound education, learning, and similarly, the teacher has to be to make the paper very interesting for the students so that you develop interest in it. In science outreach magazines, and how will people come to know it's the same thing. And for this, again, a wing has been developed, which also teaches you. It is basic that you all should know those who are into academic, but writing and publishing of scientific journal and media, you want to communicate, but the communication has got a process. of how this process is to be followed. This is being taught in colleges and school, but again, a department has been created for it. You are having a specific industry which is working in writing and publication of scientific journal. So that is again a place where if you're good in writing, if you're good in understanding, this is one of the areas that you can get for yourself. And coming to the next is entrepreneurship. These days we always talk about making India. So when we talk about making India, this is one area where we all are working a lot. There are PM is giving such a wide support. Now all the roles that we have seen in industry, research and development, some other person has started. So if some other person can do that, why can't you? You can have your own industrial setup. Definitely you are having support of the government a lot in being an entrepreneur now. Earlier it was not so, but in last 2 3 years entrepreneurship has come so much in date. People are having startup for biofuel. They are taking tenders and working over it because if you make a and how why it is important to be entrepreneur because a lot of small working is coming up which cannot be experimental in big industries. So for these, small setup has been come up and which are working in it. Now, how it is coming up, what is making them come up, how can you define the sustainability of that organization that you're following? That is very important. Now, for this, you need to understand to read the problem statement. You need to have critical thinking. That is what I have mentioned. It need to be incorporated in the students while it is an important, very important work. So when you see any problem, when you are able to read it, you will definitely devise a solution to it. कोई चीज़ जो आपको बार बार दिख रही हो, आपको बार बार खटक रही हो, तो आप उसके लिए कोई समाधान ढूंढेंगे. अगर आपको दिख रहा है कि हमारे पास पेट्रोलियम बहुत कम है, हमारे पास कोल बहुत कम है, फिर अगर जब ये खत्म हो जाता है तो गाड़ी कैसे चले? Our smelling so good. But we want to carry the fragrance always. So how can you carry that fragrance always? By devising a perfume, by natural products. So, so you should know the statement, the problem that is hanging on your mind, and you can work over it. The way I said that the population is increasing regularly. When the population is increasing, we need to have food to feed them, and in the defined time span. So that is you are having this is the problem statement, less of land and need more of product from the defined statement. So the solution came up of vertical farming. The solution when land is not there, the solution came for hydroponics. So likewise, when we start working and we started seeing the problem, like a lot of problems are there in sustainability, of environmental sustainability. So why don't you design a structure, complete unit which is sustainable, self-sustainable, and you can have your own setup as a microbiologist. You can have your own startup. You can always have funding from the government, from the bank on your project once you devise or developing how you can develop a new product because you need fund for it. When you need fund for it, you need to have a problem statement. Put that problem statement with a sequential answer to it, with a reasoning and solution to it. Make a presentation, apply to n number of funding agencies that is coming up, seeing to the area of interest that you're having. If it is agriculture, it is in medical field, it is into food product, it is in renewable energy, whatever process that is happening, it is the bio process that is taking place. For that, there is different organization which helps you to get fund and to start your own startup. So when we talk about these things, being an entrepreneur or doing a job, how can you define? How will you define that what you want to do, what you want to do, and what will help you to design these things, which is very, very, very important. In academic role that I have mentioned that what you people are doing with the graduation or post-graduation. So you complete your post-graduation by the time you're 23. Now, if you have to go for further studies, if you want to do specialization in the similar domain, then again you need 3 to 5 years. That is for PhD program. By the time you complete it, you're 28 already. So now this is the time If you have to go for academic, you can go for postdoc, or if you want to jump into industry, master is good enough. So by the time you're 23, 24, you can jump into your industry very, very well. Definitely, academic and research require a qualification of PhD, but not in industry. For industry, master qualification is good enough. So this is about the academic that you need to know. Now, how will you decide which area you'll be going? Either you want to go for healthcare, you want to go for environmental, you want to go for any food processing company, you want to go for pharmaceutical. How will you define that? So to define that, you need to do little introspection and know what is your area of interest first and prime most. And then what is the market demand? Because if my interest says XYZ and that is not in demand, what will I do of that interest? I'll not be able to make money out of it. Maybe having my own startup or joining an industry. But that industry or my own startup should have the credential which is strong enough to sustain for long, at least 10 years, 15 years longevity you should be able to see of that industry, that startup. For that, you need to do market research and you need to know the market demand. What is the demand of market? उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आप खुद को प्रिपेयर करेंगे. अब खुद को प्रिपेयर करने के लिए आपको अपना इंडिविजुअल स्ट्रेंथ जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है, अपनी इंडिविजुअल वीकनेस जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. आप स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस जब अपनी आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं तो आप उसको मार्केट डिमांड से रिलेट कर पाएंगे. Then you can do your self preparation to be launched in the market. So this is very important right when you are in first year of your graduation. Until unless you start seeing yourself what you want to do after 5 years, until unless you decide a career path for yourself. To have a good career, as the very first statement I gave, that don't think of getting a job, think of making a career. So you need to understand your strength, your weakness, your dream, where you want to see yourself, and likewise you can start working in that direction. For a microbiologist, opportunity lies everywhere because microbes are present everywhere. So wherever microorganism is present, we have an opportunity out there. If if we are willing to find out why. So you have to start loving microorganisms, you have to start working on them, and definitely you are defined to make a beautiful career. I'll be open for the questions, and this is a link I have shared it with Aarti ma'am. This is a link of a paper DOI is mentioned. Please, I would like all of you to read that paper. It's a journal research paper is there, and it's a beautiful paper on microorganisms. So I would like you all to please see that. If possible, Aarti ma'am, please do share this link with everybody so that they can see it. I've shared my contact number, my mail ID. If any help you require, you can connect to me. You can drop a mail to me. If you individually want to know that how to find out your strength and weakness and how to work over yourself, you can do that. Or collectively, if you feel like having a session, it can be done. Thank you. But before that, I would like to have a question from your side.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Sir, I would like the students to have, if they have any questions, to have
I would like
session.
to tell you, ma'am,
Yes, sir.
that Dr. Prakash Halami,
Yes, sir.
who is my good friend, and he is a big scientist from CFTRI,
Okay, sir.
Mysore, has attended your lecture and he is interested to ask the question,
Please do,
as
sir.
well as Dr. Khushbu also want to interact with you.
Sure,
First,
sir.
Dr. Prakash Halami, please.
My
Halami,
question,
sir.
my question is on behalf of the undergraduate, postgraduate students to know what are the entrepreneurs related opportunities from microbiology angle. If Madam can tell us, will be quite useful.
So because postgraduate, by the time any student does post graduation, they have developed good understanding towards microbiology field. Now, for the startup, they can work in environmental direction. One of very upcoming line which is coming up is a lot of water bodies are getting polluted. By creating a consortium of microorganisms, they can clean the complete water body. They can, because it is already present in the water body is already present, but when we inoculate, the growth is faster. So that is one of the area they can work. They can also work in different area, like in food industry. Microbiologists can work. They can devise many things for environment. And more of work is going on into collaborative technologies, so they can do implementation of technology. They can get it say get involvement of an electronic engineer and to devise a chip which can do the sensing of environmental and pollutants. So that is very much required also. If pollutant is increasing, specific pollutant is increasing in an area, then effect will be different. So if we gauge that this pollutant is increasing, to decrease that specific pollutant, the work will be done. So besides the student is ready to have a startup, the student should know individual strength and weakness, and should be able to read the problem statement, which is very important. Until, because if just to have a startup, then it will not work until unless we read a problem and then we come with a solution of that problem which is required. There are a lot of problems coming up in industry, like we are having 17 sustainable goal. If we focus those 17 sustainable goal, जो आपके भी G20 का भी गोल थे, उसमें अगर हम वर्कअप करते हैं, we see those sustainable goals, everywhere problem is lying up. So once we are able to read that problem statement, we can define a solution. And PG student should do projects also in a direction. They in PG they have 1 year project, I guess, sir. So in that 1 year project, they should work on sustainability, so that they come up with any idea through which they can generate money. Because IPR is one of very important field where students, microbiologists can apply, even as a career of patent officer. Plus, this helps them to define their own work too.
Actually, FSSI has formulated new guidelines.
So you're not audible clearly?
Can you hear me, madam, now?
Yeah, so now you're audible.
Now, actually, FSSI has released the new microbiological guidelines in a food safety, from the food safety perspective. Now,
Yes.
definitely, this needs now analysis labs, no? Different private laboratories or the accredited laboratories. This will be, I think, one of the very important area from the food microbiology younger, that our new professionals actually can look for the job opportunities. Because there is now a growing demand of the microbiology in analysis laboratory.
So wherever the job requirement for a microbiologist is there, the same field is there for an entrepreneur also to develop.
Correct. Very correct.
Because yesterday was actually the meeting with the Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare with FSSI. And FSSI has released actually the microbiological analytical methods that they have developed. And there will be now the very frequent, regular regulatory measures with reference to the spoilage microorganisms, pathogenic
Yes.
microorganisms.
So because microorganisms are the best scavengers, they're the only scavengers. So they are the only solution to the problems which are coming up either in healthcare or in environment. These are the two sectors which we are working very closely. And so healthcare is a sector, the pharmaceutical is a sector which is governing the economy of the entire world. And microbiologists play a very vital role in any pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, that's why I thought that this seminar will be quite useful, especially for the youngsters.
Yes.
We are addressing what
Now, madam, there is
So,
a one more question from Khushbu.
ji sir.
Khushbu Jain is asking you. She has written in the chat box. She can talk. Khushbu, Dr. Khushbu, you can talk. She is asking the question, could you please give some tips? How can we make students aware about the field of microbiology and biotechnology? to get their admissions in BSc and MSc?
Sir,
So
to get
how to
admission,
create awareness?
yes, so we need to have visibility of the organization, because in microbiology is a branch where after BSc no student is sitting vacant at home. If the student wants to do a job, if the student wants to have a career, they all are employed some of the other places. So this is because anybody takes up a career to get a job to have a earning. So this is very much clear that BSc and MSc, after BSc and MSc microbiology, people are getting up a job very easily. So awareness of microbiology is already there. The significance of the stream is already there. Now to make your organization visible is important to have admission in your college. So for that you can display your work which you are doing. You can make your presence very well evident by research communication, which increases the visibility. You can go for a lot of conferences at national and international level. You can go for magazine writing or article writings, which increases the visibility of the organization. Once the organization is visible, people will start taking admission. Because out here in North, when we see like if 60 seats are there for microbiology, almost all 60 will be filled, because now people wants to go in uh, for the field of microbiology. As I said that COVID has given a lot of visibility. It's not the
Yes, yes.
creation of vaccine, it is the creation of COVID virus itself. The virus has given us the visibility because it is a genetic engineered virus. And now the time of bio war everywhere. So more and more such organizations will be coming up. So
Very good.
microbiologists have a very
Yes,
important role these days.
yes. So I hope that Kushbu, ma'am, Sarah is asking question. Hi, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I'm a biotech student and I'm interested in doing research in pharmaceutical sector. Can you guide me in what subject I should take masters after completing BSc?
Khushbu, I need to know your interest area better before guiding you. What pharmaceutical itself is a very, very beautiful line to go for as a career. I have also mentioned one new career to you all, that is IVF, and that is in assisted reproductive technology. There also microbiologists have a very good role. And if you want to go for pharmaceutical, then also it's a very good line. But I need to know you more to guide you in which direction you should go for your masters. You
Correct,
can go
correct.
for your masters and do work on natural products, which leads to pharmaceutical company requirement.
Rashmi, I request you to give your email ID and contact number in chat box.
Sure. So I have shared it, but again I'm mentioning it, sir. I'm
Okay,
sharing
okay.
it in chat
So
box, sir.
more people will contact you afterward also.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
I'm just
So
sending my number.
yes, they will ask the question by mail or they will directly contact you on WhatsApp. Very good.
Sir.
Phone number is given, and really it's a wonderful lecture.
Thank
Wonderful.
you,
Why
sir.
I'm telling? Because many students always asking me question, sir, what are the job opportunities? What are the career opportunities?
Yes, sir.
And you have solved my problem.
Thank you so much, sir. Because we every day, we teachers face the same issue that because they're studying, because XYZ reason, many did not happen to turn up in NEET, or XYZ reason they have to take up microbiology in BSc. But when they start working, they somehow develop interest also, but they don't know which direction to give themselves.
Yes, Dr. Khushbu is also very happy with your lecture.
Thank
She
you so
has
much.
written a
Thank you so much, sir.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir, if
Yes.
any
So
query
now,
comes, yes, sir.
yes, now we'll conclude. And I should not say thank you to Rashmi because she is enthusiastic and eager to deliver lecture.
So we all are
Only
students
I
of
should,
microbiology yet.
yes, yes, yes. I will circulate this lecture.
Yes, sir.
Again, tomorrow I will circulate it. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
uh, many, I will post the pictures because In some colleges, it was shown on the screen. So I will ask them to post the pictures of hall where they have exhibited, they have
And I would like to
presented.
have the feedback if how far the student could grasp something for it. I would like to have
Correct.
the feedback so that if any more information they need can be shared with them.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Thank
I'm very happy with the students also. They have attended it. So I thank students and I will request students to transfer the recorded lecture, circulate, make viral recorded lecture among all students.
Sir, one more question is there from Harika in chat box.
please, sir, please.
Yes,
One question is there from Harika in chat box.
correct. Harika has asked question. Hi ma'am, even I am a biotech student. I wanna do
Do
MSc
MSc molecular medicine.
molecular medicine. What is the eligibility and scope of it? And again, one more student, that is a Kavya Shri. She asks, I want
She's
to
in
pursue MSc in clinical embryology. So clinical embryology and molecular medicine. They are asking question.
if to do clinical embryology, you need to have MSc. For any MSc, the basic qualification is BSc that you can do, and even that is for embryology as well as for molecular medicine for both. Because Kavya had just asked that this what is the qualification required for doing MSc in molecular medicine, right? Better you need to be BSc that you're already doing. You can pursue in molecular medicine your career because your eligibility is matching. Definitely you have more of scope in industry which is working with which is working in biotech industry where vaccines and medicines, molecular medicines are being worked upon because these is then targeted medicines are also being made. So that is one place you can find your job role very well suited, and in pharmaceutical industry. That is for Kavya, and the Kavya is asking question that she wants to pursue an embryology career. So Kavya, for that you have to do MSc in embryology and start practicing in any IVF center. You'll be joining there as an intern, and then you can continue your career there. And that is one of the very beautiful upcoming career that is there with microbiology embryologist. And currently in India you cannot see more than 3500 or say 4000 embryologists who are into good practicing with good hand. And this is one field which is upcoming and will never end because due to sedentary lifestyle, infertility issue in male as well as female is occurring a lot. In fact, in male, the infertility ratio is around 60% to 75%. So this is some issue which will keep on growing every time. I hope that's all.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Ati, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. I wanted to vote of thanks, ma'am.
Sure,
Should I
please.
start? Ah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your dedication and your informative lecture. Your insight and expertise made significant impact for us, and we are grateful for your valuable contribution to MBSI and our student. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
One
Thank you.
minute, 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
There are two questions. One from Kirti,
Yes, sir.
that is regarding DNA fingerprinting.
No, for DNA fingerprinting, Kirti, DNA fingerprinting study is very limited in an area. For that, if you go for your PhD work, then it is better after completing your masters. Masters, or you can do a BSc Biotech or MSc Biotech, and after that, then pursue fingerprinting in your PhD program because DNA fingerprinting is a very specific area. You can learn
And
this tool while doing your masters, but pursue your career after your PhD in it. Then you'll be specialized and you'll have a better position in different organization, in defense
Neti
and
is asking
aerospace and
question.
whatever.
Neti is
Yes, sir.
asking question. She
Which
want
one
to
is that?
pursue environmental science after doing BSc microbiology. So is it possible?
Yes, it is very much possible. One more question is there, sir. MSc Microbiology or Molecular Medicine? I would
Correct.
suggest that MSc Microbiology is having a wider scope compared to Molecular Medicine, because when you're taking up Molecular Medicine, you're narrowing down your focus. So you're limiting your scope. Molecular Medicine, you can go for your PhD. But if your master's is in microbiology, your scope will be wider always for the career.
Okay. Now we'll close this session. And if any question is there, they can personally ask to the madam. She has given contact number. Thank you again. Thank you all
Thank
for
you,
this
sir.
wonderful session. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.